Greetings everyone. I am John Arman M. Gonzalvo, your friendly instructor. Now, welcome to a new video featuring the Product Inventory Management System. As you can see here in the screen, this is the program code of it. So, what is Product Inventory Management System? The Product Inventory Management System is a console-based application that allows user to manage a list of products and perform sales transactions. This system uses 2D array for data storage, where all product attributes and sales transactions are stored as strings. So, wanna know more? Let's proceed to the next reporter.
Greetings everyone, my name is Talingting and I will be explaining about the login method of our project. And let's take a closer look at how the login method works. And yeah, let's begin. The login method is responsible for authenticating the user before they can access the system, and it gives the user three chances to enter the correct username and the password. And we start by declaring a variable called attempts, and set it to 0. This will keep track of how many times will the user try to log in. And next we will use while loop that runs as long as the attempts are less than 3, and this means the user can try 3 times only. And inside the loop, the program asks the user to enter a username and password. These inputs are stored in a variable called user and pass. Next is the program then checks if both the user and password are equal to admin, and if they match, the login is successful and the user will be granted to use the program. And next, if the credential is incorrect, the program increases the attempts counter by 1 and tells the user how many attempts are left. Once the user reaches 3 failed attempts, the loop ends and the method returns false. This signals the main program to stop running. And in short, the login acts as a gate. Only users who enter the correct password and user will be granted to use the program. And the system will only give at least 3 chances to enter the correct user and password. And that's it for the login method. Thank you.
The static void method add product. Its main purpose was to get input from the user to store in the product inventory. To do so, it would check whether the product count is greater or equals to max product. If the condition turns true, the program would print maximum product reach. However, if the condition turns false, it would return a block of code asking for product information input. After scanning user input, the system will now check using if statement whether the input is equals to the value of 0. If this condition turns true, it displays fields cannot be empty. Otherwise, if the condition turns false, it will store user input in product count method. Then finally would print product added successfully into the console.
Now, I will explain the view products method. Its main function is to iterate through our global 2D array and display the current inventory list to the user. Before displaying anything, we first validate the data. We check if the product count is 0. If it is, we print no products available and return immediately. This prevents the code from running unnecessary loops or printing an empty header. If product exists, we print the header and enter a for loop. The loop initializes I at 0 and while I is less than the product count. We use product count as the limit instead of max product to ensure we only display the items that is actually stored, skipping any null or empty rows. Inside the loop, we access the product to the array to print the details row by row. We use loop variable I for the row index. We use hard-coded indices for the column 0 for ID, 1 for name, 2 for price, and 3 for the quantity. This repeat until every valid product is displayed.
Now, I will explain the function called update product in our program. The purpose of this function is to allow the user to correct or change product information. For example, if the price changes, if the product name was entered wrong, or if the quantity needs to be updated, this function is used. How does it work? When the user select the update product option, the program first asks for a product ID. The ID is important because it tells the system exactly which product we want to edit. After entering the ID, the program uses a helper method called findProduct to check if the product exists in our array. What happens next? If the product ID is not found, the system displays product ID not found. This prevents the user from accidentally updating something that doesn't exist. But if the ID is valid, the program will ask the user to enter the new details, the new name, the new price, and the new quantity. What does the function update? Once these inputs are entered, the program replaces the old values in the products array with the new updated values. After that, it prints a confirmation message, product updated successfully.
Okay, let's talk about how we delete a product in this system. First, the system asks the user for the ID of the product they want to delete. Then the user enters the ID and then we store it. Next, we need to find that product in our list. We use the find product function, which searches the list and tells us where the product is located. Before deleting, we check if the product ID was valid. If the function didn't find the product, it returns -1. If that happens, we show an error message and then stop. If the product is found, this for loop does the main work. It shifts all the product after the one we're deleting one position to the left. This overwrites the product, effectively removing it from the list. After shifting, we update the product count variable, subtracting 1 since we removed the product. And then finally we show a message confirming that the product was deleted. So that's how the delete product function works. Get the ID, find the count, and then confirm the deletion.
Greetings everyone, my name is Federico A. Celis. I'm here to tell you about something in our sales transaction performance. Now in here, we will use a user input for an ID for them to a quantity size they will use. In here, we need to as the user enter a specific ID of the product. If it's not available, it will print insufficient stock. And if it's not the right ID you put in, it will print invalid product ID. And if it's good or you get the correct ID number of the product, it will print enter quantity sold. After that, we need to print about something about the transaction. It will print the transaction successfully plus the total, because it will print the full amount that you will pay. And then after that, we need another method, which is a sales transactions view. This one is more likely a aftermath. Aftermath transaction. It will print the transaction ID, product ID, quantity sold, and total amount of the sales product. So that's all. Thank you for your attention.
The find product method is used to search for a product in the system by its product ID. It works by looping the product list from index 0 up to the product count. For each product, it checks if the stored ID matches the ID being searched for. If the match is found, the method immediately returns the index of the product. If no match is found, after checking all the entries, the method returns to -1, which means the product does not exist on the list. This method helps the program identify the correct product whenever updates, deletion, or checks needs to be performed.
Hey everyone, ever wondered how a store keeps track of what they have in stock? We built a simple computer program, an inventory system, using Java that does exactly that. I'll show you how it works and what the code does. Hmm, First is a menu and features. Think of our program like a basic app for a small shop. It has 6 main features like the number 1, add new items, view the full list of products, update details like correcting a price, delete all products, and view transactions to see what been sold. And the next one is data and safety. So the program is built with Java code. The two main ideas is holding it together are data storage. We use digital spreadsheets, what program is called an array, to hold all product details, the ID, name, price, and quantity. Every item goes into its own row. Safety net. Yeah, that's the second of data and safety. Safety net, the get input function, this is a crucial block of code. Every time the program asks for a number, like the minute choose or an item price, get info step in. If you type letters or leave it blank, it say invalid or oops, try again. It's a safety check that prevents the whole system from crashing. so so let's see. Let's see it in action. We'll add new product, say mug price at $10 with 50 in stock. Now we view the list there. It is if a customer buy 5 mugs, we perform a sale. The system automatically update the stock quantity from 50 down to 45. Simple and effective tracking. So why get input is essential? Focus on the get input code again. Why did we spend time on the get input function? Because in programming, an expected letter where a number should be is a guaranteed crash. Get input uses a loop to force you to enter a number and only exit when it confirms the input is clean. It makes our program reliable and user-friendly. This is a simple command line system. To make it a professional tool, we could add product features, secure it with a proper database instead of just memory, and turn it into a web or mobile application so anyone can use it online. Thank you.
I'm back, everyone. Are you still listening? Still got energy left? Let's proceed. As you can see in front of you, there is public static void main. It is very common in program code. So, what is the purpose of public static void main string args? So, this is where the main method starts. So, the next we have in choice is equals to 0. This is an initialization. Choices stores the user's menu selection. Then next, let's proceed to user's authentication. So some of you might ask, what is if exclamation login? So what is it? Hold on, let me take a deep lesson before I can answer your questions, okay? So, if exclamation login, then parenthesis, system.out.println, too many failed attempts, exiting. System.out.println, program terminated, then return. I will tackle this in testing and debugging part, so hold on to your brains and keep listening to me. Okay? So next we have the purpose of it. So this shows that the program calls a method login. If login fails, the program prints a message and exits immediately using return. The exclamation login means if login parenthesis returns false. Then next we have this main menu loop. We use do while loop for it. Okay. Then do show menu choice equals to get input. Then choose an option. The do while loop means this menu will repeat until the user chooses to exit. Then show menu displays available options. Then get input reads user input and stores it in choice. Okay. Then we have this menu choices. As you can see here, this is the menu choices, the if, else if, and else. So the first selection is, or the first option is, if choice is equals to 1, add product. So if I will read this will be if choice is equivalent to 1, that means it is add product. So the number 1 option is add product, then followed by view products, update products, delete product, perform transaction, view transactions, and exit, which shows the system.out.println exiting system. If you input an invalid characters such as alphabets or any special characters, or even a number without, or it is not available in the options, shows that else system.out.println invalid option. Please try again. Okay. So the loop exit condition is while is not equivalent to 7, or while choice exclamation equals to 7. The loop continues until the user enters 7. Just as I told you before, the only choices is 1 to 7. If you put numbers like 0 or alphabets like A to Z, or special characters like exclamation point or anything like that, this will pop up in the program. So the program ends in system.out.println, program terminated. Are you still listening? I hope you still got energy. Save it because we will test and debug it later on. So let's proceed to the next reporter. Thank you.